Hello. It's a Sunday morning here in the UK. We're not having much summer, cold and windy and nasty. So anyway, this is a morning I'm feeling very, very tired. I had no sleep at all last night. I know lots of us aren't sleeping because there's so many things going on, but to go all night, I think I dozed off eventually about 8:30. We all have our own techniques for us not sleeping. When you're on your own, you can't have a cuddle even. I watch television sometimes on the computer a lot, but last night I went out for a little walk. I do go for a little walk, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm near playing fields and trees. I'm very lucky to have it so quiet. I put my coat over my nightie and go and stand under my favourite cherry tree. Well, this wasn't last night, but a few nights ago I was standing there, completely silent. The stars are beautiful, and I do see my occasional friends flying by, and they send me a beam. So I love it at night when I'm a star person, like a lot of us. Night time's my best time. The energies are different. I'll explain that in a minute. But I was standing against this tree, and it was pitch black, as you could imagine. I take a little torch with me, and suddenly I could see this creature leaping. I mean, I've never seen such a big dog. I think it's called a Great Dane. Black dog. Leaping towards me, and I thought, don't panic, like in the films. Don't run, don't panic. And he went straight past me, and his owner was just behind. He's the local landlord of the pub. And he said, I can see you're not sleeping. I think that was the most frightened I felt, out in the dark with this dog coming towards me. So but anyway, I do spend about sort of 20 minutes out walking, and the police car once drew up at the gate, the headlights on, came towards me. How old are you, madam? I said, do you want to come in for a coffee? I live just around the corner. So I do have some strange experiences at night, but there are lots of reasons for insomnia, and some of them are quite esoteric, if you know what I mean. We are in the middle of what they call a tatwa tide. Now, the tatwa tide, Tatwa, tatwa tides, they're to do with the 4 elements, 4 seasons. I learned about these with someone called Dolores Ashcroft. She was a Swedish teacher, and she was the one that did the Egyptian weekends. I've done a video about opening of the heart. Very clever lady, lovely weekends, we had some fun, and she mentioned these tatwa tides, and apparently there's one for every season. They're cosmic tides, and there's one for winter, spring, summer and autumn, and we're now in the summer one. Now, the summer tatwa tides are the fire tides, because every quarter has got its element. Summer is the fire, autumn, oh, I've forgotten. I can't think. Anyway, every quarter has got its element that rules it, and the summer, the Leo tide, is the fire tide, and that they always upset me. I mean, they really do. I'm overstimulated, and I think a lot of us, it's fire, and if you've got fire in your birth chart, you're going to be overwhelmed with it. Really, very creative. This is why I'm doing this thing today. But they're actually cosmic tides. Now, when I woke up, well, kind of did wake up this morning, I was sort of thinking about this. I thought, I always seem to be, the feeling comes over me. I have restless leg, I have all sorts of peculiar things. I thought, 4 o'clock, I know the energies change. I could be sitting in my little front room, whatever, and I thought, in a winter month, you can feel it gets colder, and this a certain energy comes about 4 or 5 o'clock in the UK, and it goes on right through the night, and about 4 or 5 o'clock it changes again, and that's when I can tend to drop off to sleep. So 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, if I go for a lie down, is fatal. I've had it. I won't sleep at all at night. So it's a cycle, and I thought, yes, it is like a tide. It sort of comes and goes, and it lasts the whole of July, beginning of August. Well, end of July, August. The fire signs. So it's very stimulating particular tide, this one. But it's interesting, that, isn't it? Has anybody else noticed it? It sort of starts late afternoon, and then you can feel the difference. It's really weird. Well, I can. It's really odd. There is a difference between night and day. Hence the story of Jekyll and Hyde. I mean, I know I change at night. I become most peculiar at night. I don't howl at the stars or the moon, but I do change character. A friend of mine many years ago said to me, well, she said, you become the opposite birth sign, which makes sense because you're not in the sun, you're in the moon. The opposite, the dark side. So the dark side of ourselves, I think for me, I'm a Taurus. I've talked all this in my other, but basically that's the nurse, Taurus. But I become very scorpionic, which is the opposite sign. And this friend of mine pointed this out to me. I thought, gosh, that's so true. I do become quite negative and angry and destructive. Don't visit me at night. No, it's not always like that, but it's definitely a change in my personality. And apparently, according to the Buddhists, it's a very ancient technique of actually getting in touch with your subconscious. I'm not saying you're forced to stay awake all night, like in the films about the German occupation and the spies. We have ways of making you talk, shining a light in you. And I do feel like that. If someone's shining a light on me and forcing me to stay awake, I get very angry about it. I say, come on, angels, come, help me sleep. But whether they don't want to or can or are not allowed to, I don't know, because I'm sure anyone can make anyone sleep. I mean, it's no good taking tablets. I've tried everything. I've tried tryptophan, what's the other one? Melatonin. I've tried all the natural things. I could take them at night, and I don't sleep at night, but I sleep in the day. So I'm obviously a night person, and I have to accept that. The thing is, when you're awake all night, you're tired in the mornings, and you have to go back to bed sometime in the day to recover. So your day's gone really, and things happen in the day. So last night I was washing a floor at 3 o'clock in the morning because I had the energy. I don't have it in the day, but at night time I seem to come to life. I should have a party, do night shift somewhere. So it's interesting though, isn't it? How, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, how you become quite well, not a different person, but a different side to you sort of seems to emerge at night. I, 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 I haven't yet come to understand it, but the tatwa tides do make sense to me because the fire tides, which is the July-August tides, always upset me. I'm not quite sure how it would be on the opposite side of the world. I have to look into that, I suppose. But I know in the UK, this is a summer tides. So that was it. I'm not sure it would be the opposite. That's interesting, isn't it? Because of the tides of the tides. I mean, they say they're cosmic. I can never find out any more about them, though. This lady that mentioned them, she was very interesting. And I thought, well, gosh, that does make sense to me. And I looked it up on the internet and I've asked her, and even written to her, but I don't think she's alive anymore. So it's a very interesting concept, isn't it? So, yeah, it is about, I don't know. I think it feels to me when a new moon phase, new moon in Leo, we had the full moon. Full moons affect the physical body, and to me, the new moon affects the subconscious. So I've been going through quite a lot of inner processing, as you could imagine, like we all are. So I think it sort of stimulates the mind. So your mind's more active at night. That's why we must, people that, I don't know, never keep a computer in your bedroom or on your bed. Don't do computing last thing at night. Don't look at mobile phones last thing at night. All this is very stimulating to the brain energy. So we're all advised, I think, to have a bedroom that's dark and quiet. Well, quiet these days is difficult, but to sort of limit our mental activity. And even if I watch a film late at night, I always take an hour off between watching the film and going to bed to like calm down. Then I come in here and put the computer on. Oh dear, I don't know. So anyway, it's not a very long video. I'm a little bit tired, more than a bit tired. I'm going to go back to bed in a minute. Thinking you sleep in the day, then you don't sleep at night, you see. So I try to hush up silly dogs out there today. It's very quiet on a Sunday. It's a playing field, so we have lots of sport on a Sunday. But it's not very, when you live on your own, Sundays are probably the worst day because they are family days, aren't they? When you go out and do things. So I don't like Sundays as a rule. So I try and do things quietly on my own. I mean, I've got lots of things. I'm thinking my creativity, and of course Leo is a very creative sign. I don't know where it's gone. I painted that Jupiter picture in the background. My favourite planet. I've been to Jupiter actually. I have. I went flying off middle of, I was in a dream state, and it was so close I could have touched it. Fantastic, it really was. A visit to the planets, that's another story. Because I'm a planet person, and so to fly to Jupiter, it's a lovely, it's a huge. You can get, I think it's about, Brian Cox is doing a program. He's a local, well, UK resident, about the planets. If you get a chance to watch it, brilliant. Talks about Jupiter, the giant gas planet, and I think you can fit about 1,000 Earths into it. Can you imagine anything that big that floats around in space? You know, then they've got a ritual and a routine and a bath and degrees and so forth. I think it's fantastic. So yes, I painted that, and I do tapestry and. What else do I do? Well, writing, of course, and I don't like reading too much. But, you know, I'm not even playing music. I think I must be going through a depression of some sort. But I also think that we have times when we're kind of meant to be withdrawing from everything, you know, to sort of assess. I'm like, I used to do a lot of internet stuff and reading, and I suddenly feel, oh, I better. It's not like I don't want to. I just find I can't get interested in it anymore. I don't know. Mind you, I've been at this sort of thing for 40 years. Now I'm going into another video now, so I'll have to stop. Suffice to say, keep electricals down last thing at night. And, I mean, if all else fails, go for a walk. I find that going for a walk does seem to help. Or putting my feet in water. Get a bowl of water, put my feet in. It takes down the electricity, you see. There we go. Take care, everyone. God bless. Bye.